up, you guys? It's Zamora, and I am so glad to be back after having been out of the game due to, you guys know, a little illness. I don't want to call it a flu, but it probably was a flu, but I'm not going to call it a flu. I was just sick. And first of all I have to say is it's been such a long time since I sat myself in the passenger side of my car. That's exciting. I need to do this more often. But yeah, you guys, of course, as you can hear and see, I'm feeling a whole lot better. I can actually speak, raise my volume, make myself audible, and it was not too bad. The only thing I have left is, a little bit of congestion. My right ear is still like out a little bit, and then my chest also has a few thingamajiggers going on, but nothing big. Yesterday I worked out and I discovered that I have strength that I didn't even know I have. It's typical for after I get sick for me to just have a burst of strength like that. It's like it must be the little bit of Saiyan blood that I have. LOL. But yeah, you guys, while I was sick, I had a random memory about how it's about to be 4 years since I got my 4 wisdom teeth removed, and I just wanted to share with you guys what that experience was like for me. So, I remember that my lower right furthermost tooth would always have its surrounding flesh just swollen, and I told mom that it's making hard really unbearable, and she was saying, oh, you probably need to have your wisdom teeth removed, and I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and do it. I'm game. And immediately, of course, given the concerned mother that she is, she was like, oh, but I must warn you, this is an awful experience. It's going to be painful, and it's going to get all swollen. You won't be able to eat, and you'll feel miserable. And I'm like, I mean, whatever it takes. It's not the first time that I am going to be sick and in need of medical attention, so let's just go ahead and do it. And anyways, so we went to the doctor, and he said, oh yeah, we got to remove 4 of your wisdom teeth. And I'm like, okay, I'm here, so let's go ahead and do it. And then he was, of course, asking me, did you make sure to not eat 12 hours prior? That was hard, you guys, because you guys know that I love to eat. And he also said that he was going to put me completely to sleep. And I'm like, okay. So I remember this one nurse, he did something to like the little machine with all the liquids and everything, and I remember telling him I have a lot of pain in my arm, and after that I don't remember anything else. I remember mom told me they're going to tell you to count to 100. They didn't tell me that, but I actually did that. And I'm like, well, I'm going to just start counting. I don't know what I'm counting for, but just randomly. And all I remember is that when I came back to my senses and woke up, it was over. And they said that took about 40 minutes for them. But for me, it felt like it was like I took a 3-5 minute nap. And my mouth, I remember it was stuffed with lots and lots of cloth of some sort, that medical junk they do. And then I remember that I would go like in and out of consciousness. Like I was weak. I couldn't walk on my own 2 legs. Mom was dating this one guy at the time, and he pretty much picked me up and took me to our van at the time. And I vaguely remember that drive. This drive was about 50 minutes away from where I used to live. Maybe a little less, but but I don't recall anything. I was just really weak. All I wanted to do was sleep. And when I got home, mom started fixing me, that type of diet, like soup and gelatin and the soft stuff. And oh my goodness, it was. I remember my mouth tasting like blood. And when I finally had enough strength to get up and go to the bathroom, um, I went like, and oh my gosh, there were like holes in there and it had blood in it. It looked black. And I'm like, is this really how that's gonna look like forever? And then my mom was like, no, you just gotta wait for the flesh to start reconstructing that. And I'm like, thank God, because I so regret this. And I would have been asking for, like, I don't know, implants or some shit. But probably not. But it's just that at the time I was kind of in the shock of having seen that. So I didn't think logically that, my body has its properties of, skin or flesh reconstruction, whatever you want to describe that as. But when it came to the recovery, you guys, this is the part that mom warned me the most about. Sincerely, I was fine and perfectly healed after a day and maybe, let's say, 2 days. But by the next day, even though most of it had healed up and I was fine and I could technically eat, I didn't. And I believe that my follow-up appointment was, I can't remember. I don't want to say that it was quite a week later, but maybe it was. It's been so long. But you guys, I promise you, I felt no pain whatsoever. The only thing that was bizarre was that my mouth was numb still. So I would try to speak and that's what I would sound like. And then it felt swollen. Like, I remember feeling like I had the lips that Kylie, needs to get surgery for. But, it was like humongous. But they weren't big. They felt swollen, but they weren't. And then, like, my cheeks, they also felt like they grew. But it wasn't bad. I promise you. I was telling my mom, I was telling everybody I knew at the time. I felt no pain. The worst part of it was the drugs wearing off, the numbing effects, what do you call that? Anesthesia? But anyway. And yeah, so I must say that my experience having my 4 wisdom teeth removed wasn't unpleasant. I was pretty blessed to have had, a great doctor and a good, procedure. And it just took care of it to where I didn't have any issues whatsoever. So anyways, you guys, that brings my story to an end. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will definitely be back to filming regularly, so I will see you soon.